Hello, ladies. Welcome back to the Dear Single Women's Podcast. The Dear Single Women's Podcast is a podcast for single women who are healing, growing, living, and loving their lives on their terms. I'm your host, Shanentra, and I just want to say thank you for being here. Please take a second to like the podcast, subscribe to my YouTube channel, Shanentra Says. Please rate the podcast 5 stars. I need your stars on Apple Podcast, on Spotify. Please rate me, leave a review if you are so inclined. It would definitely help to continue to get the word out there about what is the best podcast on the planet. Thank you. As always, I thank you. So how are you doing, ladies? How's your week going? I wanted to talk to you today about balance and reciprocity. This is something that I have realized in my own relationships, and there was a common theme in talking to my friends about their relationships, is that sometimes, and I don't know, this may not apply for everybody, but I think it's a good episode regardless. Sometimes we struggle as women to find balance in our relationships and almost to demand reciprocity. Sometimes we get so caught up, especially if it's new, at how we are presenting, how we're coming across, how he's perceiving us, how he's receiving us, if we are doing too much, if we're asking a lot, or if we're doing just enough, if we're showing up right. A lot of time, those thoughts are in our heads as we're getting to know somebody, as something starting out new. And I think I've talked to enough single women to know that it's kind of a universal experience. But I want to say to you that if you've ever thought that, if you are thinking that, chances are you aren't showing up enough. Chances are it isn't balanced. I find that you're excited, you want to come off right, but sometimes we as women tend to dim ourselves more because we want to make sure we're not doing too much, and that causes us to go down too far. I want you to make sure that in your relationships that there is balance and there is reciprocity. I'm not going to say action for action because I don't really believe in that. It kind of takes out the authenticity of things. Well, I checked on you, so now you have to check on me. And I called you, and now you have to call me. And I don't think that's really authentic. So I'm not really going to say action for action, but I will say feeling for feeling. What do I mean by that? When I had my situationship, my fling that I never expected to have in my life, but I ended up in one. When I had that thing going, I noticed that this person felt so comfortable around me when they wanted to hit me up, when they wanted to come over, when they wanted to talk to me, when they wanted something from me, whatever, just even asking, they felt comfortable to do that. Call, hey, what you doing? All of those things like that. They felt completely comfortable with me. And I saw it in the way they acted, in the way they related to me. But then I realized, how come I don't feel that way? How come if I have the desire to call, I got to think twice about it? Well, what time is it? What might he be doing? Should I call? Should I not call? Same with the text. Should I do that? Should I not do that? Well, I didn't feel that same level of comfort that apparently I caused him to feel. And I didn't realize it at the time, but that shows that things were not balanced. Things were not reciprocal. He was getting way more than I was getting because I always second guessed my choices before I did them with him. And he didn't do that with me. And I realized, as I said to a friend at the time, she was feeling the same way in her situationship. And I said to her, I said, how come he could just FaceTime you without thinking twice about what you're doing or where you are or who you're with? And he just does it. And even if you say like, I'm busy, he'll like still talk to you and stuff. And it could be that soft feminine nature. They feel very comfortable. And they should, if you also can feel as comfortable. If you and your femininity and your softness makes him feel safe, makes him feel like he can let his guard down, connect with you, relate to you, talk to you, have intimate moments with you, I think that's beautiful. Kudos to you, woman. You're doing your thing, okay? You're in that feminine bag, because if you're not, if you're a masculine energy, you cannot give that. You cannot make him feel that way. So kudos to you. But on the other end, masculine energy makes us feel safe. This episode came about from my personal experience with that person, that I didn't feel like I could call at will, text at will, or else I didn't get a reply. The phone always went straight to voicemail. Not straight to voicemail, but it might have rang and then went to voicemail. And of course, those are like subtle feelings of rejection, right? And if you're like me and you have rejection wounds, then that hits. And so I would feel like, oh no, I can't put myself in that position to feel that rejection. And so I would not call. I'd have to think twice about calling. I have to think twice about texting. I'd have to know that it was something not serious, that if he didn't get back in a couple of hours, that I'm not going to feel some type of way. But why didn't he feel like that with me? And the answer is because I made him feel safe. When he reached out, I was there. And I didn't get that back. And so this man is enjoying all of the lovely fruit of my womanity. And I'm feeling insecure, uncomfortable, sweat under my armpits when I think about calling or texting. That's not fair. It's not balanced. And it's not deserving, because you should really be getting what you need from that relationship just as much as he should be getting what he needs from you. And, learn from me, ladies. I cheated myself so much. Just thinking back. He wanted to come over. My door was open. And that's my sanctuary. Like, I count on one hand how many people like really have been to my apartment at the time. Like, or okay, two hands. But like, definitely not more than 10 people. And I lived there for almost 10 years. Like, that's my sanctuary. That's my space. And this man, when he wanted to come and he wanted to break away from home, he was able to do that. No questions asked. I welcomed it. I loved it. As I should have, because I'm a woman. And I enjoy the company of a man who makes me feel good. So there's nothing wrong with that. But make sure you get in what you want to get, right? Like, I couldn't just come over to his house. It was a whole thing. I couldn't just text or call when I wanted to. I had to think twice. Without even thinking twice, I had to think twice. Meaning I couldn't just pick up the phone and do it and then say, oh, wait, is he actually free? No, it was like a whole thought process before time. And so the feeling that I extended to him, he did not extend to me, which means I should have rescinded that, because there must be balance and reciprocity. You must get out of it what you're putting into it. Never allow yourself to be cheated, because men will enjoy and experience what it is that you are giving, because it's good. Your femininity is good. That softness, that safe place that you provide for him. Men like to share their feelings in a place that makes them feel safe, right? Because they got to be masculine, and society told them that they can't really express their feelings. So they do that with someone they feel safe with. So if you got a man doing that with you, you've done well, woman. You've done well. But make sure you feel like when you're having that moment and you want to share, that you can do it just as easily as he can. Make sure that your feelings are respected just as much as his, because that was another thing. Even if I disagreed, I listened, I gave, I respected, I let him have the space to share. And then when it came to me, I didn't get that. I got cheated bad, ladies. I didn't get that. I got pushback. I had to like do a whole lawyer two-step before it was like, yeah, I could see your point. But like, dang, I gotta argue the point like I'm in a court of law. Like, whereas for me, it was like, I take the approach that I know you and I hear you. And if what you're saying is what you're saying, then I need to give it some attention and thought. So that's what I mean. It's not just action for action, but do you have someone who does that to you as you do it to them? Is there balance and reciprocity in your relationship? If not, I don't I don't really believe in like matching energy, because I think it takes you out of who you are. Like if you're someone who's naturally like that and you want your person to feel safe, you want your man to feel comfortable and good around you, I'm not going to say, oh, well, now pull back. So you could, I don't really believe in that. But what I will say is maybe conserve a little bit more. Have a conversation if you want to, or just conserve a little bit more. That's something I wound up doing when I opened my eyes to it. I was like, oh. I'm coming over. No, actually, not available at the moment. And it was just like, no, not matching energy, but I had to let you know that I am the prize. I am of value. I had to put that thing back in alignment. Hello, let's get it right. You want to come to my house because you like the way it feels in this space, right? You get some happy feelings when you step into my presence. So let's put that thing in alignment and make sure you treating that accordingly. Make sure that you're getting what you're getting. Make sure that you know what it is you're getting. And so, sometimes you just got to reorient things, right? Do some shifting. Let it be known. And I tell you, they come back even more, honey. Okay? So that's the positive about that. You're not matching energy. You're just shifting some things and letting it be known. Don't take stuff for granted, right? Like, I love what I provide for you, but make sure it's balanced. Make sure I'm getting mine. Make sure that you know that it ain't just like that just because, right? So it's just a matter of recalibrating that thing. And then as he moves accordingly, then you could go back to doing what you're doing, you know? But they do come back, and they come back 10 times stronger because they like it. They like it because what you provide is so good. They love it. Just make sure you get in yours. No one wants a one-sided relationship. You should feel just as safe and like just as comfortable without thinking twice about making your moves and getting what it is you need from that relationship. You should feel just as safe. And just the last point I'll say about them coming back is they come back, and they come back better because they understand that it's not just a given. They understand that you're doing something special there, and they understand that they understand the value that you actually provide for them just by, addition by subtraction. And along with that, I would recommend having that conversation. But yeah, girl, they be on you more. It's like, I remember I disappeared. I wasn't as accessible to him, and all of a sudden it was like all the attention I was wanting, I got. What are you doing? What's going on? Da, 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 da. You know? Hey, I just wanted to come and, just hang out for a little bit, and like, why? And then at that point it wasn't like, oh, I'm jumping. It was like, why? Oh, just cause. No, you missed the light, and I don't blame you. I hope you're feeling good, ladies. I love you. Conserve your energy. Make sure you get in yours, right? Because that's not a given. You are a feminine woman. You've done the work. You provide value to your guy. And if he's coming, he ain't here yet, right? Because that ain't my guy. He ain't here yet. My guy, I provide that value as well because I've done the work and because that's who I am. And so you provide that value for the future. If he ain't here right now, you provide that value for the future. Make sure that in the future, as you give that to him, that you are getting reciprocity. Make sure you feel just as safe in his masculine energy as he feels in your feminine energy. Thank you for listening to this podcast. I'm so glad to be back. I love talking to y'all. I'll see you on the next episode of the Dear Single Women's Podcast. Bye now.